Thank you, Chair. I would like to start by echoing the last words of Mrs. Stevens, that we want to have an operational privacy shield as soon as possible. The problem is that this privacy shield is very unlikely to be operational. We are here today thanks to a young man called Max Schrems, who was stubborn enough to litigate before the court for many years and to do what the EU institutions should have done, namely stand up for the interests of the EU citizens. Because I recall here that this House has called repeatedly for the repeal of Safe Harbour, and the Commission did not move. So it took one Austrian student to make sure that Safe Harbour was repealed. Now, I am not the least bit convinced that things like written assurances or an ombudsman or a review are going to do the trick. And my doubts are shared in different wordings by the Working Party 29, by the Working Party 31, by the EDPS and by various legal experts. So I don't understand why we have to keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. We have a responsibility, a duty, to make good quality legislation. And here it seems to me that the Commission is ready to take a decision knowing that it will not stand in court. This is not about making political compromises. You know, maybe I could agree with Mr. Vos or maybe not. That's all not relevant. There is only one yardstick. Is this yes or no Schrems proof? And I am not yet convinced that it is. And it's an improvement, yes, it's a step forward, and I'm glad that the Commission is willing to discuss further adaptations. But ultimately, this is also about the US getting access to a market of 500 million consumers. So they too have an interest in moving. Now finally, we didn't say anything about the umbrella agreement in the resolution, we'll come back to it, but I would really like two things. I would like, first of all, the European Commission, before we talk about giving consent or anything, the European Commission to finally declassify the reply it gave to the question of Libe about the legal status and the scope of the umbrella agreement compared to other legal instruments. Really give us this information. This is only, you know, a legal assessment. How secret can it be? And secondly, the Commission itself has clearly stated that removing the exemptions to the Privacy Act in the US is a precondition for the umbrella agreement to be valid. Now, we all know that those exemptions are not going to be removed. So can somebody please explain to me how we can realistically expect the umbrella agreement to ever apply? Please clarify this for me.